This power battery has a capacity of 2 kilowatt hour, 2500 watts of maximum power output, which is more than enough for most household appliances. It can be charged by solar panels up to 1000 watts, like the ones that you have on your roof, or portable solar panels that you can place on any balcony or even on your backyard. It weighs 29 kilograms. It has AC outlets, USB ports, and a cigarette lighter socket. And a simple app that can be very useful, especially if the power station is right over here and I'm in a remote location. It's called the Allpowers R2500, and inside the package we will get some documentation, a power cable, and also the battery, which weighs 29 kilos. It's not that much, but we need to do some effort. You can order it with the flexible panels, which are optional, and if you do, you will get one panel in each box, and everything came very well protected with foam and includes a bag with the accessories that we need to connect the battery and place it on a balcony with the solar panels. Now, since they weigh only 4 kilos each, it's very easy to pick them and mount them everywhere. Really easy. Now, the panels can be used with this battery or with any other microinverter system, and soon we will measure how much energy we can output from those solar panels, regardless if you want to use with this battery or if you want to use with any other system on your home, just by applying a microinverter and then save on your energy bill. There are situations where we find ourselves with no other way of powering our devices, and if we don't have an AC outlet, then solar panels is probably the best thing, but that's something that I will be sharing with you. Now, the power station has this display right over here, 2 USB Type-C ports and 2 USB Type-A ports, 4 AC outlets up to 10 amps each, a cigarette lighter output, and 2 12-volt jack outputs. Now, for charging, it has this port right over here to connect a wall outlet, and the XT60 port so that we can connect to solar panels or even to the car cigarette lighter. On the other side, there are 2 ports that will allow us to expand the battery up to a maximum of 3 units. Now, we can install the app and have access to the battery charge level, how much it is charging or discharging, turn on the AC and DC ports or off, choose the charging mode, and also as the eco mode along with the firmware updates. It's really simple, but as I said, and I feel it can be very useful, especially if I'm not near the power station. This moment charging with 174 watts, 69% of capacity right now, and we are with only one panel connected. Now, this is a 200 watt maximum power panel, and we are achieving 173, 174, and now we did 2 panels connected, 345, 350 more or less. We are with both of them connected parallel, so 2 separated, and then on the XT60 right over here, and we are reaching more or less 340, 350 watts of capacity. Maximum is 200 each, so a maximum of 400. We are reaching almost. So at this moment we are charging on the mute mode, which will charge up to 600 watts more or less. And besides what we have right over here, looking at one of my Shelly plugs, and the results that we have right over here, 657 watts more or less, while we have 660 something. I've been checking out the values of input because we are charging at this moment, and with the Shelly app I can see, using a Shelly plug, that the values are correct. So far working great. With the Allpowers app we can change the charging mode to standard, and instead of 600 watts we will get more or less 1000 watts. One of the things that we should notice is the fans. This is the lowest that we will get when we are charging, but it will ramp up once it reaches 1000 watts, and we will hear that. There we go. We had this woo, and this is the maximum that we will hear while inputting 1000 watts, which is the standard mode that we can easily change here on the app. Now, my microphone is just near my chest, so I can hear perfectly the sound. Hopefully you can hear as well. Now let's change to fast mode, And on fast mode, honestly, I don't notice a huge difference from the standard mode in terms of the fans. Actually, I barely notice any difference. And it seems that we have the battery at 88%, which is close to 100. And at this moment, it's not accepting the fast mode, which will go up to 1500 watts. I've been charging it at 1500 on the 3 different levels, and I'm achieving more or less the same. So at this moment we have 931 watts coming out from the Shelly plug, which is the plug that it's powering the Allpowers, and we can see right over here 950 watts at this moment. So a difference of 10 watts, 15 watts, which is not that much. At this moment 810, 802. So what is happening right now is that it's getting fully charged, so it will start to lower down the power that it's able to input. If you put this near your standby bed, it will be a bit noisy, but if you are doing a camping session and you are not worried about the noise, it's not that bad, but we can definitely hear the fans working. So it accepts a maximum of 1000 watts if we are charging with the solar panels, and it will accept a maximum of 1500 watts if we are charging with the AC. But if we combine both AC plus the solar panels, the maximum will be 2000 watts of input, 1000 on the solar panels and 1000 on the AC. At this moment we are going to test out the Allpowers output, and I'm using a Shelly plug right over here so that we can see the power here and compare with the power that we actually get from here with the volts and frequency and so on. So let's start with my bread toaster, which we have tested many times here on the channel with other units. So roughly 950 watts right over here. The refresh here is a bit slower, but we are getting 970 watts, more or less, 940 something. So I've been watching a small difference that will range from 20 watts to 30 watts, more or less. Everything else looks fine, 230 volts, 50 hertz, so everything fine. Depending on the level and depending on the power, I've seen differences that go from 10 watts more or less up to 30 watts, but we will check that. So let's turn off the toaster right over here, and now with the hot air gun I'm going to put it on level 1, which will draw more or less 900 and something watts. We can see a small difference, but there is a difference of 20 watts more or less, and everything else looks fine. 230 volts, 50 hertz, being measured from the plug itself, not from the Allpowers. And if I push it to the maximum, this is level 2, we will get up to 1800 watts, 1760, and we are seeing a difference as well, 1790, so 30 watts more or less of difference. Now one of the things that I want you to hear is when I turn this off, so we can still hear the fans, but briefly, and then it will shut down completely. And as we could see, this noise is a lot higher than the noise from the power station. Now let's connect the other one. And now I've connected the water boiler, or the tea maker as you want to call it, and it will draw about 1800, 1900 watts, which is what it's showing here. And right over here we can see 1820, so we have roughly more or less, and this is constant as we can see on several devices, about 20 to 30 watts difference from one to another. So we are drawing the power that usually the device is outputting. I've tested with these 3 devices in terms of voltage, in terms of the output itself. Everything seems to work fine. Now one thing that I want to test out as well is how much time can I draw above the 2500 watts, and for that we are going to turn the 3 devices. Once again, the fans, as soon as we stop, they will just ramp down. And now I'm not using the Shelly plug anymore because we are connecting 3 different devices, and we are just using the app from Allpowers. And as we can see, and we will be able to see if I press right over here, which I did notice before, is that the app is quite fast in refreshing. So at this moment it says that 945, 4, and we can see it changing at the same time. And if it's not exactly at the same time, it's really quickly. So 43, 42, we can see it here, 42 and 42. Really nice to see that the app refreshes as quick as the power station. Now at this moment drawing 940, so that means that if I plug this one on, it will surpass the 2500. Let's check it out and see how much time. 2806, and there we go. Yeah, there we go. This was the maximum. So we can go up to 4000 watts, but only for a very brief amount of time. Let's put it on this one here, 900, and if I turn this one, we are 1900, and you can see the refresh here. If I put it to the maximum, 2700, so we are above the limit. Limit is 2500. Let's see how much time we will get with this power. Now, if I will be using like this, I will be discharging the battery on 27 minutes and it will be completely zeroed. But I don't believe that we will be able, because we are above the 2500 watts, and if we are below the 2500 we will be fine until the battery goes down, but above that the battery will protect itself as other batteries that we have tested. Let's just check the time, and you can see by right over here I didn't mark anything, but we can have an idea of how much time we will be able to have it. There we go. So by my rough calculations, there was about 1 minute where we were above the 2500 watts. We were on the 2700 watts more or less, and we could get 1 minute out of it. Now, of course, if we use devices up to 2500 watts, we will be able to use without this interruption until the battery goes completely dead. But if we go above the 2500 watts, then the protection from the power station right over here will shut it down so that it can protect the battery, because we are surpassing the limit. For any device that you have at home, you will have something written there, how much power it will draw maximum. So this will draw a maximum of 1900 to 2000 watts is what it's written here, but it never goes to 2000, and you can check that on your devices, on your microwave and so on and so forth, so that you can have certainty that the device that you are going to connect will be able to go to this unit, or if you need a lower down unit, like they have one which is 1500 watts, a 600 watts, so depending on our needs. One thing that I did enjoy, and it's really interesting and not very common, is that we can connect solar panels here from 12 volts up to 150 volts, maximum of 1000 watts, and this is not very common. Usually it's up to 60 volts, but right over here 150. This will give us the freedom not only to use panels in parallel, but some units we will be able to use in series, which might be great for some setups, especially those that we have on our houses. So if I want to disconnect about 3 or 4 solar panels that I have, and they are on the range of 150 watts while connected in series, I just need to disconnect from my main circuit and then connect right over here. That might be awesome. So up to 2500 watts we can output from this power station, and for all the tests that I've done, and some of them you have seen already, it has been working great. Now it has a surge peak of 4000 watts, but as you saw on the test, as soon as we put 3000 and something, it will go down. On the 2700 watts we were able to achieve more or less about 1 minute and a half, which was really nice, but those were the limits that I found. So if you are looking to use this unit for a microwave or something like that, we will be more than fine, because 2500 watts, it is quite powerful. Actually, my water heater, for example, the smaller one, only draws about 1400 watts. So if I wanted to heat my water during a outage with this power station, I could, at least until a certain level, because we only have 2 kilowatt hour right over here. So that would make 1.5 hours of eating water, probably one shower. Now the plastics are not bad at all. It looks really nice, but they are rigid. We have seen other units that have a rubberized surface, like we find right over here. This is rubber, and here is a rubberized plastic. So here I do guess that over time we will be able to scratch it a little bit faster, and the plastics are not the best that I've seen. They are not bad, but we have seen better, and I believe that this is one of the reasons that they can keep the costs a bit down, which is one of the advantages of this unit right over here. Now the fans, they do quite some noise when we are charging, especially on the standard mode and on the maximum mode, and also when we are discharging, which we have seen on the tests that I've been doing. Now I also tested out using it as an UPS and placing it on my setup right over there, and while charging and discharging 300, 400 or even 500 watts like an UPS, the behavior was good and the noise is like this. We don't hear it at all. I'm not really sure yet if it does a kind of bypass, which means that even if I'm drawing 1500 watts and if I'm connected to the AC outlet, it will just bypass, so we will not hear the fans, but I need to test out a little bit more about that function. Nonetheless, on my setup, which draws about 300 to 400 watts, it did behave really well, so no issues at all if I was using in a situation like this. Now, one situation that I want to share with you that I had, which was an issue with one of the solar panels. So I did receive 2 solar panels to test out with this battery, and then to test out and share with you the results of having 2 of those panels, because we can achieve that with any other system and save some money and charge devices such as this and do a lot. So that's the goal that I have, to share with you all that information. But one of these situations was that when I did unbox the solar panels, I didn't notice anything, so they were just fine. And then once I did install the panels in a day or two, I noticed that one of the panels adds a issue. It has like a bubble or something like that. The panel was working fine. It was producing energy just like the other, but it had that issue. So I did contact Allpowers support, and they were really fast in solving the situation. And it was simple as just requesting my numbers that the panels have, the numbers that the battery have. So I was treated like a customer, and the situation was to send me 1 solar panel, and then on the box that came, I just placed in the old solar panel and then the label that they gave me. But this was something really nice, although it was a bad experience because the panel was not good, or if it was good, it had an issue, which I believe that it was a manufacturing issue or something like that. And at the end of the day, it did allow me to contact the support, and the support was straightforward, fast, and no complications at all. That being said, hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did so, don't forget that usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.